welcome to Nature Creations with Isabel
and Emma, brought to you by the Lynn Canyon Ecology Centre. Today I'm going to show you how to make your very own paper out of recycled paper. So first you're going to need to gather a few supplies. So I've gathered some rubbings from the Ecology Centre that people didn't take. But you can use any type of recycled paper you've got. You can use newspaper, just any paper product you've got. Then you're going to also need some sort of frame to make your paper on. So I've got a screen here that I've just put some tape around. And then I also have this one here where I've got a wooden circle. And I've actually just put a mosquito net on the back. So you can really use whatever you've got in your house. If you've got an old picture frame, you can put something on the back of that. Then you're also going to need something to absorb the water. So I've got some pieces of felt here, but you can use a beach towel, a tea towel, just really anything that will absorb water. And then you're also going to need a bucket that can hold water. So step one is you're going to take your paper and you're going to rip it into strips. And then once it's in some strips, you're going to rip it into some smaller pieces. The smaller the pieces, the better, because this will be easier for making your paper. And then I'm just going to drop them into my bucket. And once you've got a fair amount of paper in your bucket, you're going to pour some warm water on top of it. And then ideally you want to let it sit in the water overnight. So I started this stuff a while ago, so here we'll show you. So we've got some paper and it's been sitting in the water for a couple hours. And now our second step is we're going to rip the paper a bit more. So you're kind of going to be like a blender. Squish it, and this just really breaks the paper up into nice small pieces. So once you've been mixing, your paper will turn into this pulp-like mixture. And if you want to use a blender, you can, and it'll make it smoother, but using your hands works well too. So next, I've got a tray set up here where I've put down a piece of felt. And now I'm going to take one of my screens and I'm going to scoop it under. I'll give it a little shake. So I've scooped up some pulp in my frame, and now I'm going to take a second piece of felt, put it on top, and I'll use it to squish it out and spread it. And as you can see, the felt is sucking up the water. And I'll lift it. Oh, and there's a few holes, so we'll just wring this out. I can scoop some. And you want to try and suck out as much water as you can. And push it down so it's nice and thin. So I'm going to now use our second frame and we'll scoop. We'll give it a bit of a shake. Let some of that water fall off. Ooh. We'll spread it a bit. The longer you let your paper sit in the water, the smoother it's gonna be, and it's gonna become more like a paste. So mine hasn't sat for that long, but it still works. Now we'll take our piece of felt, stick it on top. You want to get all that water out. So once you've sucked up all the water from your paper and it's looking pretty dry, what you can do is you can pick it up and then you can flip it over and it'll unattach itself. And now you can make a new piece of paper with your screen and you'll let this one dry. It'll take probably until tomorrow to dry, and then you'll have your very own paper like this one. So this one I made a while ago and it's fully dry and it's just like a regular piece of paper now. And the different papers you choose, so we've got some green paper, and you can see all the bits of crayon, it's made a bit of rainbow. If you choose to do newspaper, it will make a gray paper, so just so you know. So if you weren't able to find yourself anything to make a frame like this, you can also use cookie cutters. So you want to take the cookie cutter and you'll just put it down on top of your towel or felt, and then you'll use your hand and you'll just scoop up some of your paper pulp and plop it in. This is a bit messier. Put some more, you can spread it. Once you have scooped up your pulp into your screen, you can then choose to put some seeds on it and make it into seed paper. So my paper here is dry already, so you're going to want to do this when your paper is still wet. But you can just pick any type of seeds. I've got a wildflower seed mix here, and this will help attract pollinators to your yard or someone else's yard. Can you think of 3 different pollinators? Once your paper is dry, you can use it like you would use any other piece of paper. So here I've made a nice little thank you card that I'm going to give to my neighbor because she brought us over some flowers. And then once she's done with the card, because it has seeds on it, she can then go plant it in her garden and help attract pollinators to her yard. Now, were you able to think of 3 different pollinators when I asked earlier? If you weren't, that's okay. I'll give you some hints or some suggestions. So bees help pollinate, and bats, and ants, bears, the wind, water, butterflies, dragonflies. There's lots of different pollinators out there. Now, are all of these pollinators insects? I challenge you to try and think about that. So I'll give you some hints. So insects have 3 sets of legs, have 2 antennas, and have 3 segments to their body. Thanks for making paper with me today.
That's all from us today.
From all of us at the Ecology Centre, remember to
Be kind
stay connected
and respect the earth.